What's up, people? I am back. Sorry I didn't do a video yesterday. But today I was supposed to do the Mummy video. I'll do that on Saturday. So you're gonna get another Rare Saturday video. But I'll today we're gonna rip into a little bit Alien Covenant. So this is officially, I guess you would say you know, I guess the sixth Alien movie because if you count Prometheus, that would be five. So yeah, this is the sixth one in the franchise, and I remember being really hyped because I really love Prometheus. So I remember being hyped and it's like showing, oh, here's a Xeno and the new types of xenomorphs you're gonna see. So I was like, okay, this film could be really good. But then I watched. I mean, I'm gonna be front though. I initially was okay with it. I saw it in theaters, and I remember being okay with it when I initially watched it. I didn't hate it when I initially watched it. I did though really was disappointed with what they did with Elizabeth Shaw. That is the biggest one of probably the biggest issue I have with this movie, and then that weird shit they did with David and Walter. Oh, that was weird. Where the okay, so but then I rewatched it because I hadn't watched it since it came out. Because I'll be front, I watched it the day. I'll admit, like there's some good. I'm not gonna like this isn't like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. You know, this isn't like fucking Jason Goes to Hell. This isn't like that level of bad. You know, it's not a franchise killer like a Last Jedi. It's just not. It was a weak follow up to Prometheus, but I will say there is some good. I think the cinematography is like the best thing about this film. Is the cinematography. The xenomorph scenes were good. The special effects were good. The neomorph scene, in my opinion, almost trumps the. I'm not gonna say the original, but just the actual idea of like the chest burster was for a while one of the scariest things I thought you can experience. But that neomorph from the back really fucks me up. I was like, God damn. So like there is some good, and you also see you have Juicy Smollett in this movie get fucking wrecked by a xenomorph. So there is some good, and it just in general that scene, even just you take him out of the equation, the way it was shot was great, and I think some of the music cues were good. And besides that weird scene with Walter and David, I actually think Michael Fassbender is like easily the highlight. It's just a lot of the side characters were very forgettable, especially compared to Prometheus, which had a good cast. Even if you didn't like the movie, Prometheus had a great cast, and the lead Numi Rapace is not here, and I just think she is definitely a missing key. Because Daniels, I guess, who's kind of supposed to be like the stand-in, she's boring. She's not terrible. She's just boring. She's not stand out. I think Danny McBride's like the only character I'm like okay with. You have the guy who played Flash's dad slash Doctor Manhattan in this. He was okay, but forgettable. I think a lot of the kills were good. If you just watch it for that perspective, then really just watch like the last really 10 minutes. You don't really need to watch this, and I really wanted to love it rewatching it because I rewatched Prometheus and I still love that. This is just I didn't hate I don't hate it, but it's definitely gone down. So I'm gonna take a hit before we get into the review. Cheers. Drinking a Rolling Rock. So we start off with this prologue, which I'll admit, this part of the film was good with Peter Whalen. I thought it was kind of an interesting way to start the film, but now we jump to 2104. This is 11 years after the first Prometheus. The ship, the Covenant, which I'll admit the ship design was really good. And even the opening was fine. We are introduced to Walter, who's basically a newer android based off the one that was David. He resembles him. We're introduced to the crew. We have Daniels, Tennessee, who's that's Danny McBride's character, Orem, and Ledward. I think that's the issue. Like right there, the cast was just not. They didn't. I didn't care. I wasn't invested. Like they were really. It sucks because Prometheus had a great, and it wasn't just like Elizabeth Shaw. Like I thought Vickers was a good character. For like a somewhat bad guy. The one dude character was really good. The crew in that movie was like, you kind of felt for them, and I felt for them. In this, I just beside Daniels was boring. I know maybe she shouldn't have been the lead. The true fix to this movie is you bring Elizabeth Shaw back, and I will get more into that later because I am gonna. That angers me. So we're introduced, and then they land on a planet, and I'll admit this part of this movie is really good. When you see like the little particles go into the ear, and then the neomorph bursts out of Ledward's back. This scene was amazing. I will admit this part of the film, and that's why I think I initially liked it because I was like, the thing was it wasn't a franchise ruiner. It didn't, and this was before Last Jedi, but I still at the time was like, okay, this was really good, and then really good scene, still good. I can if you look at the scene by itself, it's good. Then we get more Neomorphs attack, which was cool. I like the design, really interesting looking. So they start attacking the crew, kill one of them, they kill the Neomorph, and then they manage to get back on the ship. And then this is where, I think this is where we see the where we meet David, and he tells basically he's the one who kills Shaw when they arrived on the planet. I really hate what they did. I don't know if maybe just they couldn't get new. It's hard to say her name, so I'm just gonna say the actress. Maybe I don't know if they couldn't get her to come back. I don't know, but I was really disappointed because like I think that was one of the big. She was such a good character, and I know Amanda Ripley exists, and arguably yes, she's probably a better character, especially because she's tied to Ripley. But if we're talking about in film, since Ripley, in my opinion, this is just me, I really love Shaw as a character, and I was wanting more. And she just gets killed off fucking screen. I know there's a deleted scene where you see her body, but even then, I don't like that. It almost pisses me off even more. You just kill her off fucking screen. We see how they got to the planet, and then like how the xenomorphs kind of. It just, I was so disappointed, man. Like that is one of the biggest disappointments about this movie. If they had just did it to where Daniels is like the main character for a little bit, but when they get to that part of the film where the planet, that's when you make fucking you have her come back. And honestly, I don't know if I would have. If you wanted to make David a bad guy, they should have did that a bit later. I think that was really rushed. I think he should have been working with her, and then you would have made her the lead again. And if you wanted to kill her in the movie on screen. But even then, I just think it was stupid. Killing her off fucking screen. And it just, because you leave a void. Because I'm sorry, Daniels is boring. All the, none of the leads did it for me. And just, and then we get the scene with Walter and David where they, I think David tries to convince Walter to join him, basically. Just it was weird. That harmonica scene was very. It didn't. I think they were trying to make it like they have a connection, but it felt. I'm sorry. It felt very. What people kind of say about Nightmare on Elm Street 2, very homoerotic. That is what I got from that scene. I didn't notice it when I first watched it, but definitely watching it now, it's fucking weird. It's like, no. Okay, the Neomorph attacks. This part of the film was kind of cool. They end up killing the creature, and then they end up getting back on the ship, and seemingly, well, this is where Orm gets killed by a face hugger, and oh yeah, this is the part where yeah he thinks humans are a dying species. I think David, the stuff you take that shit out of the film. I think that's the stuff with David as a bad guy is terrible. I actually think because Michael Fassbender, I love him as an actor. He's an awesome Magneto. Sorry about the loud ass car, but I really I did enjoy that. Sorry about the loud ass cars, guys. But and so a face hugger attacks the Lope, and then Dennis C arrives to save him. Um, and then Walter and David get into a fight, and it's presumed that Walter comes back, and it seems like Walter's come back, and everything seems fine. They get back on the ship. The egg hatches, and then this is where a burster comes out. Chest Buster comes out, and then now we have a fully grown xenomorph starts killing the group. We get the really cool scene where Juicy Smollett's character is having sex with this girl in the shower, and the xenomorph attacks. It's done really well. I will say that. One of my favorite xenomorph scenes. So they kill them. And then so it's seemingly they kill it, but then they get back on the ship. Another one bursts out, and basically you kind of get a throwback to the first film where they're in the ship trying to get it out of the lure it out. I'll admit this part of the like when we get to this point in the film actually gets pretty good. It's just the weird shit with David and Walter. For me, the biggest thing is killing Elizabeth Shaw off fucking screen. I just don't think it works. And then they flush it out of Tennessee, and Daniels flush the creature out in space. The Covenant goes into stasis. Daniels realizes that Walter is David, but then they go into hypersleep, and the film ends. He takes one of the embryos, and then it was supposed to set up for a third film that we never got. I mean, I'll admit I would have liked to have seen, because I think that would have been a cool thing to follow up on. But I will agree, this movie is weak. I think the characters are the big part of it. What makes these Alien movies is, for me, is the cast. Alien, obviously, home run with Alien, and Aliens too. Alien and Aliens, the cast were those are probably my favorite casts. Core of characters in an Alien movie are the first one and the second one. They're almost tied. I think the second movie had just as good as characters. I like the characters in 3. 4 is kind of meh. I mean, I think there was some okay characters before. It was kind of meh. But Prometheus had great characters in it. Now we're just kind of, besides Tennessee, which I don't even think we really got a lot of, everyone else was just forgettable. You notice I didn't really talk much about the characters, because besides Daniels and Tennessee, they're the only characters I can't even really tell you about Jussie Smollett's character that much, or fucking everyone else. They're all just kind of there. The xenomorph stuff was great, and that's what pisses me off. This film could have been really good. It could have been a really good follow up to Prometheus, and that's what really irks me is you have in film wise a character that could have been is just as a good follow up lead to Ripley, and you just kill her off screen. Oh, here's her fucking corpse. Ugh. Maybe they couldn't get the actress back, but if they couldn't, they should have just did something to where they postponed the film if she was filming something else. She needed to be in this movie, because I think that was the missing key. because her character was so good. She could have honestly saved the movie for me if she was the final part. Because I think once we get to the like final act and the action, it's good. The Neomorph scenes were great. Some of the stuff with Walter and David was good. Besides like the fucking weird homoerotic shit scene. Besides that scene, my god. Sorry you brought the hockey. Anyway, besides that homoerotic scene, it was the movie. His performance was great, but the cast was weak. And Alien, in my opinion, Alien needs a strong cast. Same thing with Predator, to be honest. Both these franchises had a great cast of characters in those first movies, or even in some of the sequels. You know, because I even like the crew in Alien 3. You know, they're not great, but they were good. In this, they're fucking boring, and especially because I really like the crew in Prometheus, and then we just go from that. Like I said, the good stuff is the music was good, the xenomorph scenes, and the cinematography and the special effects, but the characters were weak. The story wasn't that good either, because I think, like I said, just killing off Elizabeth Shaw was a giant mistake. Off fucking screen. If you're gonna kill her, at least had it be on screen. If you could maybe even just get her for a little bit. It was really disappointing because I was expecting a lot more from this movie. And I will admit, the ending it set up, I would have liked to have seen where we could go with it, but this movie wasn't well received, so. Now Disney has Star Wars, I mean not Star Wars, Alien, and I think they're gonna fuck it up. And, yeah, but the Alien franchise was fun to get into. And like I said, the xenomorph scenes, like with the fully grown one, were some of the best xenomorph effects, especially in a recent movie, because we hadn't seen a xenomorph scene in that good of quality in a while. I mean, AVP Requiem had some okay scenes, but it was in the dark, so you couldn't really see shit. And AVP was decent, but some of the effects in that weren't great. We had like it was a good xenomorph scene where the effects are on fucking point, you know, in a film. But I think maybe they should have just went that direction. If they couldn't get Elizabeth Shaw back, they should have just made it up by, you know what, just do it like a traditional Alien movie, just without Ripley. I would have been fine with that. Like I said, I think there's good shit in this movie. It's just it gets bogged down by like weird plot points, killing off, in my opinion, one of my favorite modern like post Ripley, you know, characters in Alien, you know, in the films. I'm talking about in the films. Because, yeah, Amanda Ripley might trump her. But, yeah. So, but Alien franchise was awesome overall. Overall, I really like it. The only film I flat out would say I don't really care for is Resurrection. I think Resurrection is probably the worst. I don't think this one is that bad. I think it's bad, but it's more of a disappointment. Not like it angers me, and it's just kind of disappointing with some of the decisions they went with. But probably like next week, I'm gonna be doing a ranking. Tomorrow we're gonna do Predators, and like I said, when I review the Predator, I'm not fucking watching it. I'm gonna just read a synopsis and just go off what I remember. And if I do, I'll just I'll watch like Dead Meat's review of it or something. I'm not sitting through this shit again. That shit again. But tomorrow will be Predators, which will be fun because I actually like that movie. But other than that, I guess out of 10, I give Alien Covenant like a 6. At best, a 6. I don't think. My God, sorry about the loud ass car. But I guess, yeah, 6 out of 10. So I'd keep it at. But yeah. I'll take one more hit and peace out. Cheers. So this film's a 6 out of 10. Fuck Warner Brothers. Fuck Disney. Fuck Freddie Prinze Jr. Fuck Hank Azaria. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace!